Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the greatest tragedy in life is not failure? It is reaching the end of your life and discovering that the person you could have become never had the courage to be born. Think about that. There are people walking among us today, carrying entire worlds inside them. They have ideas they have never expressed, books they have never written, businesses they have never started, apologies they have never offered, talents they have never developed, and dreams they have postponed for so long that postponement has begun to feel like reality. And perhaps the most frightening thing is this: some of them are not afraid of failing. They are afraid of discovering what they might actually be capable of. Because once you discover your potential, you can no longer comfortably hide behind excuses. Once you know you can change, you can no longer pretend that you are trapped. Once you hear the quiet voice within you saying, "There is more for me," something changes forever. That voice is your unfinished life calling you. And today, I want you to listen. Success is not simply about becoming rich. It is not merely about applause, possessions, titles, followers, awards, or standing on a stage while people celebrate your name. Success is something far more intimate. Success is the moment when the life you are living begins to resemble the life you know, somewhere deep within yourself, that you were capable of living. It is the transformation of possibility into reality. It is turning a dream into a decision into discipline, discipline into action, action into endurance, and endurance into achievement. Every extraordinary life begins with something invisible. Before there is a building, there is an idea. Before there is a book, there is a thought. Before there is a great athlete, there is a child moving toward a ball. Before there is a successful entrepreneur, there is a person sitting somewhere wondering, could I build something of my own? Before there is a victory, there is always a moment when victory exists only in imagination. That is where your journey begins. But there is a danger in dreaming. A dream can become a beautiful hiding place. You can spend years imagining your future without ever confronting the discomfort required to create it. You can plan forever. You can research forever. You can wait for confidence. You can wait for money. You can wait for the perfect opportunity. You can wait until you feel ready. But listen carefully. You may never feel ready. Courage does not usually arrive before action. Courage is often created by action. You do not become confident and then begin. You begin, struggle, learn, survive, improve, and eventually discover confidence waiting on the other side. There is something within every human being that longs to become whole. There is a deeper version of yourself, beneath the roles you play, beneath the expectations of other people, beneath the fear of judgment, beneath the voice that says, "Be realistic." Perhaps you have spent years becoming who other people wanted you to be. You became the obedient child, the responsible employee, the dependable friend, the person who never causes trouble, the person who says, "I'm fine," even when something inside you is breaking. And somewhere along the way, you may have forgotten to ask one of the most important questions a human being can ask. What do I actually want? Not what will impress people. Not what will make your family proud. Not what will make strangers admire you. Not what will give you approval. What do you want? What is the dream that keeps returning? What is the work you would still care about if nobody applauded? What challenge keeps appearing in your imagination? What life would you regret never attempting? Those questions matter because your dream is not simply an object you want to possess. It is often a clue about who you are becoming. And the journey toward success is, in many ways, a journey toward yourself. But the journey will not always feel beautiful. There will be days when your dream feels distant. There will be mornings when you wake up exhausted. There will be moments when your friends move ahead of you. There will be people who laugh at your ambition. There will be doors that close. There will be rejection letters. There will be unanswered messages. There will be mistakes so painful that you will wonder whether you should stop. And this is where most people misunderstand success. They think successful people are people who avoided suffering. No, successful people are often people who learned how to give suffering meaning. They learned to ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Failure says, "You are not good enough." Growth asks, "What can I learn?" Rejection says, "You don't belong here." Growth asks, "Where do I belong? And what must I become to get there?" A mistake says, "You are a failure." Wisdom says, "You failed at something." That is not the same thing as being a failure. You must learn to separate your identity from your outcomes. You can lose money without losing yourself. You can lose a competition without losing your worth. You can be rejected without becoming rejected. You can fall without becoming a person who cannot rise. Your life is bigger than one chapter. Never allow one bad chapter to convince you that the entire story is finished. There is a strange psychological truth about human beings. We often fear the darkness within ourselves more than the darkness outside us. We fear our weakness. We fear our uncertainty. We fear our anger. We fear our insecurity. We fear the parts of ourselves that do not fit the image we want the world to see. But perhaps those uncomfortable parts contain information. Your fear may be telling you where you need courage. Your insecurity may be showing you where you need growth. Your frustration may be pointing toward something that matters deeply to you. Your pain may contain a question. Your failure may contain an education. You do not have to love every part of yourself immediately, but you must be willing to meet yourself honestly, because you cannot build an extraordinary future while constantly running away from your present self. Know yourself. Know your weaknesses. Know your patterns. Know what distracts you. Know what makes you quit. Know the excuses you repeat. Know the environments that make you smaller. Know the people who drain your ambition. Know the habits that steal your time. And then decide. Decide who you will become. This is where dreams begin to turn into reality. Not when you make a wish. When you make a decision. A wish says, "I hope." A decision says, "I will." A wish depends on circumstances. A decision changes your behavior. A wish waits for motivation. A decision creates commitment. And once you decide, Your daily life must begin to reflect that decision. If you dream of becoming a writer, write. If you dream of becoming an entrepreneur, learn and build. If you dream of becoming a leader, start taking responsibility. If you dream of becoming physically stronger, train. If you dream of becoming educated, study. If you dream of creating something meaningful, create. Do not wait for the world to give you permission. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start badly if you must. Start imperfectly. Start afraid. But start. Because the first version of your dream will probably be imperfect. And that is okay. A child does not learn to walk by studying the physics of walking. The child stands. The child falls. The child stands again. The child falls again. And eventually, something remarkable happens. The child walks. Nobody looks at the child and says, "You failed at walking 900 times." They say, "Look, you're walking." Why do adults forget this? Why do we expect ourselves to be excellent at something we have never done? Give yourself permission to be a beginner. Give yourself permission to learn. Give yourself permission to make mistakes. Give yourself permission to be embarrassed. Give yourself permission to struggle. You are not supposed to know everything at the beginning. The beginning is where you learn what you need to know. And then comes discipline. Motivation is beautiful, but motivation is unreliable. There will be mornings when you feel inspired. Use them. There will be mornings when you feel nothing. Work anyway. Discipline is the bridge between the person you are and the person you intend to become. Nobody sees most of the work that creates success. They see the finished building, not the nights of construction. They see the performance, not the rehearsals. They see the championship, not the lonely training sessions. They see the successful company, not the years of uncertainty. They see the transformation, not the thousands of tiny decisions that created it. Your future is being built quietly. Every day, every choice is a vote. When you choose to study instead of endlessly scrolling, you vote for your future. When you choose to practice instead of complain, you vote for your future. When you choose patience instead of quitting, you vote for your future. When you wake up and do the work, even when nobody is watching, you vote for your future. And eventually, those votes become your life. Do not underestimate small actions. A river does not carve a mountain in one dramatic moment. It does it through persistence, drop by drop, day by day. Year by year, your life works the same way. One page, one workout, one phone call, one lesson, one attempt, one conversation, 1 hour of focused work, again, and again, and again. Then one day, people will call it success. They will say you were lucky. They may say you had talent. They may say everything came easily to you. Smile. They did not see the invisible years. They did not see the moments when you wanted to quit. They did not see the days when you doubted yourself. They did not see you choosing to continue. But you will know. And that knowledge will mean more than their applause. Because the deepest satisfaction of success is not proving other people wrong. It is proving to yourself that you were right to believe there was more inside you. There is another battle you must fight, however. Comparison. The modern world gives you unlimited opportunities to compare your beginning with someone else's middle. You see someone else's success and forget their struggle. You see their wealth and not their sacrifices. You see their confidence and not their insecurities. You see their finished product and not their first attempt. And then you look at yourself and think you are behind. But behind whom? Life is not a race with one finish line. Your journey is yours. Someone else's timeline is not your failure. Someone else's achievement does not diminish yours. A tree does not look at another tree and say, "I should have grown that way." It grows according to its nature. You must learn to do the same. Your task is not to become someone else. Your task is to become more completely yourself. And that may require leaving behind identities that no longer fit. Perhaps you have been telling yourself, "I'm not confident." Maybe the truth is that you have not practiced courage. Perhaps you say, "I'm not disciplined." Maybe you have not built systems that support discipline. Perhaps you say, "I'm not talented." Maybe you have not stayed with anything long enough for skill to emerge. Be careful with the labels you give yourself. A temporary behavior can become a permanent identity if you repeat it often enough. Instead of saying, "I am a failure," say, "I failed." Instead of saying, "I am weak," say, "I am becoming stronger." Instead of saying, "I can't," ask, "What would I need to learn to make this possible?" Language shapes perception. Perception shapes behavior. Behavior shapes destiny. And destiny is not something that simply happens to you. It is something you participate in creating. There will be seasons in your life when progress is obvious. And there will be seasons when nothing seems to happen. Do not confuse invisibility with inactivity. A seed beneath the soil looks like nothing. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary is happening. Roots are forming. Foundations are developing. Growth is preparing itself. You may be in such a season right now. You may feel behind. You may feel forgotten. You may feel as though your effort is producing nothing. Keep going. Not every season is for harvesting. Some seasons are for becoming. And becoming is not always visible. Sometimes success is simply refusing to become bitter. Sometimes success is getting out of bed. Sometimes success is trying one more time. Sometimes success is learning to forgive yourself. Sometimes success is walking away from something that is destroying you. Sometimes success is beginning again. Do not make success so complicated that you cannot recognize it. Your life does not need to look extraordinary every day. You need only keep moving toward what matters. There is a story about a person standing before a massive stone wall. They look at it and think, "This is impossible." But then they pick up a hammer, one strike, nothing, another strike, nothing, 100 strikes, nothing. And then, on the 101st strike, the stone cracks. Was it the 101st strike that broke the stone? No. It was every strike before it. That is your life. The attempt that finally works is often supported by hundreds of attempts that appeared to fail. Never underestimate the invisible accumulation of effort. Keep striking. Keep learning. Keep building. Keep becoming. And if you fall, rise. If you lose, learn. If you are rejected, redirect. If you are tired, Rest, but do not surrender. There is a difference between resting and quitting. Rest restores your strength. Quitting abandons your possibility. Sometimes you need to pause, but never confuse a pause with an ending. Your dream deserves patience, and you deserve patience from yourself. Do not rush your becoming. The butterfly does not become beautiful by screaming at the cocoon. Transformation takes time. The person you want to become is not created in a single heroic moment. That person is created through ordinary moments, repeated with extraordinary consistency. So ask yourself tonight, what dream have I postponed? What conversation have I avoided? What habit has been stealing my future? What fear has been making my decisions? What would I attempt if I knew nobody would laugh? And perhaps the most important question, who would I become if I stopped needing permission? Because somewhere inside you is a version of yourself that has been waiting, not for perfection, not for certainty, for courage. That version of you knows what you have been avoiding. It knows what you could do. It knows where you need to grow. And it is not asking you to become perfect tomorrow. It is asking you to take one honest step today. One, then another tomorrow. Then another the day after that. This is how dreams become reality. Not through magic, through alignment. Your thoughts must align with your values. Your values must align with your decisions. Your decisions must align with your actions. Your actions must align with your habits. And your habits must align with the future you claim to want. If you say you want freedom, but live entirely according to fear, something is misaligned. If you say you want greatness, but protect yourself from every difficult experience, something is misaligned. If you say you want a meaningful life, but spend every day pursuing things that do not matter to you, something is misaligned. Success requires honesty. You cannot negotiate with reality. Reality responds to what you repeatedly do. Dreaming is the beginning, but doing is the language reality understands. So dream boldly, but work humbly, believe deeply, but prepare seriously. Imagine the future, but build it today. And remember this, your life is not waiting for a perfect moment. The moment is waiting for you to make it meaningful. You may not have the resources you want. You may not have the support you wish you had. You may not have the confidence you think you need. But you have today. And today is enough to begin. One decision can change a direction. One habit can change a year. 1 year can change a life. One life can inspire thousands of others. You have no idea how far the consequences of your courage may travel. The person you become may give someone else permission to become themselves. Your success may become evidence for someone who has almost given up. Your persistence may become another person's hope. Your story may become the reason somebody else decides to try again. So, do not build your dream only for yourself. Build it because the world may need what only you can bring. There is something you can contribute that nobody else can contribute in exactly the same way. Your perspective, your experience, your voice, your imagination, your scars, your lessons, your particular way of seeing the world. Do not take that lightly. You are not here merely to consume life. You are here to participate in it, to create, to grow, to love, to struggle, to learn, to leave something behind. And perhaps true success is not reaching some distant mountain and shouting, "I finally made it." Perhaps true success is becoming the kind of person who can stand on that mountain and look back without shame, knowing you did not betray yourself, knowing you did not abandon your dream because the road became difficult, knowing you did not spend your entire life trying to impress people who were never living your life, knowing you listened to that quiet voice, knowing you tried, knowing you became. Ladies and gentlemen, one day your life will be measured not by the number of years you possessed, but by what you did with them. The clock is moving. It does not stop for fear. It does not stop for uncertainty. It does not stop because you are waiting for the right moment. So, stop waiting. Take the dream out of your imagination and put it into your calendar. Take the intention out of your words and put it into your habits. Take the fear out of the driver's seat. Take responsibility for your direction and walk. Walk when the road is clear. Walk when the road is dark. Walk when people applaud. Walk when nobody notices. Walk when you are confident. Walk when you are afraid. Just keep walking. Because the future does not belong to the person who merely dreams the biggest dream. It belongs to the person who is willing to become the person capable of carrying that dream. So dream. Decide. Begin. Fall. Learn, rise. Persist. Become. And one day, perhaps years from now, you will look around at the life you created and realize something extraordinary. The miracle was never that your dream came true. The miracle was that you became brave enough, disciplined enough, patient enough, and alive enough to make it real. Your dream is not a fantasy. It is a possibility. But possibility demands participation. Your future is calling. Do not make it wait forever. Go and meet it. And when you finally stand inside the life you once only imagined, remember the person you are today, the person who was afraid but continued, uncertain but continued, tired but continued. Thank that person, because that person did not give up. And that is where success begins. Not when the world believes in you, not when the money arrives, not when the applause begins, but when, in the quietest room of your own mind, you look at yourself and say, I may not know exactly how, I may not know exactly when, but I will not abandon the possibility of who I can become. That is courage. That is transformation. That is the beginning of turning dreams into reality. And perhaps, ultimately, that is success.